Hi everybody, welcome back to the Retro Ghetto, and today we're heading to the biggest toy fair in the country, the Toy Collectors Fair at the NEC Birmingham.
What you know about Retro Ghetto? Collecting and playing retro. Street Fighter on the Nintendo. I'm a veteran at this, not a pro. Lock into the Retro Ghetto. Come and have a look around in the ghetto. We got Sonic and Staples settle. Lock into the Retro Ghetto.
Okay, so it's a real early start. Picked up my good friend Big Steph at about 6 in the morning, and then we got here roughly 8 o'clock, ready in time for the early bird entry. So excited to be here. As I say, it's not been on for 2 years, and as you can see, it's just a huge venue, packed full of hundreds of great sellers. And yeah, stay tuned for all the footage, and also we'll be back in the Retro Ghetto shortly to show you all my pickups and discuss the day at whole. This was the first store I saw, and I really liked it because it had a lot of Quentin Tarantino based things, a lot of Pulp Fiction, Kill Bill, etc. Everything that's just my cup of tea. I did actually get a pickup from here as well, so you'll see that later on when we're back at the Retro Ghetto. And surprising to some, but not to me, games. And I sniffed them out, honestly guys. I saw every game in there, and you would not believe some of the bargains I was able to find. It's a real untapped resource getting video games at these kind of markets. I can't wait to show you the bargains I picked up. I was very tempted to pick these up, being a big Bruce Lee fan. What put me off doing so was that the seller had already informed me that Bruce Lee and a different character had already sold, so I wasn't able to complete the set. So I do have a little bit of remorse not buying them, but yeah, you can't have it all. Those games there, I had probably my best bargain of the day. I can't wait to show you what game I picked up for just a couple of quid. Honestly, it's an amazing find. But yeah, as you can see, so many great stalls, so many great toys, just nostalgia overload everywhere you look. Always great to see Wii U games. I mean, when you've got as many as I have, I've just recently done my Wii U collection update video. It's very rare I was going to find some that I needed, but I did pick up a nice couple of Mega Drive games at this store, as well as probably some of the cheapest games I've ever seen since I've been doing YouTube. So stick around for that when we get back to the Retro Ghetto. Guys, Time Crisis 4 on the PlayStation 3 is something that's completely passed me by. I've never played it, and in all honesty, I've not heard much about it. I assume it uses the camera as opposed to playing on a CRT TV. But let me know in the comments, how good is that game, and is it worth investing in? You know I have to stop and look at dinosaurs now, guys, because of Little Retro Ghetto Jr. And this was an amazing store, full of loads of official Jurassic Park dinosaurs. A very knowledgeable chap on the store as well. So if you're watching, thank you for all the additional information. You're helping me out no ending. Basically, if I'm going to keep buying dinosaurs for my son, I want to know which ones are going to have the resale value for once he's no longer interested in them. Because at the moment, I've got a house full of dinosaurs. I love looking at these X-Men on card. There's just something about the cardboard on these that just screams nostalgia to me. I'm not an on-box toy collector, but if I was, I think that X-Men line would probably be where I'd started. Guys, Laserdisc. I know nothing about this. I've never seen one. These are the first I've ever held in my hands. I've never watched one. I never owned one. Is it something worth to invest in? I don't think I need to collect anything else, let's be honest. I was hoping I'd find something like a Pulp Fiction or one of my favourite films so I could invest in it purely just for the artwork and as a display piece. But yeah, really interesting nonetheless. Let me know in the comments if you pick up those kind of things and whether you see them increasing in value going forwards, because they do seem to be getting more and more collectible and rarer to see. This was a great stall as well. This guy had a lot of video game related paraphernalia. That 12-inch Kratos, I already own that, or I definitely would have picked it up, as I'm sure you guys will be aware. But yeah, I already own that, and I did get something really nice from this store actually, so stick around again for the pickups. That arcade stick is fantastic, but I do already own Street Fighter 4 arcade stick for the PlayStation 3, so it'd be redundant to buy another one. But yeah, always cool to see anything Street Fighter related. I didn't actually see many Street Fighter figures throughout the day. It's always something I'm keeping my eyes out for, but it just seems to be coming across them fewer and further between these days. I think there was one, I saw an M Bison that you might see in this footage, but the guy wanted £200. Again, I don't collect my toys on box or in card, so it just wasn't something that was worth the investment for me. Always great to see box turtles as well, and Hasbro figures, something which I had as a child. If it wasn't such an expensive sought after line, I think I definitely would be investing in the Hasbro WWF figures, but at this point in time it's just not the right time to start collecting them. And as an Arsenal fan, it was interesting to take a look at those toys as well. Another nostalgia trip for me. And then as I'm casually walking through the aisles, this thing blocked my path. Where's a flute when you need one?
This is not a drill.
Repeat, this is not a drill.
Is that all you got?
Let's begin now.
And then we were leaving just as it became sort of time for normal entry at 10:30, and the queues were huge, as you can see, going right back to the car park. Now there was actually an Arnold Strongman event that day as well, so it really was a clash of cultures. It was sort of Star Wars meets steroids. But yeah, it was a great day. I'm glad I went early because that queue was ridiculous. On the way home, here we are.
Okay, so we are back in the Retro Ghetto. I'm going to show you guys what I picked up from the toy fair at Birmingham at the NEC. It was a great day. It's been a long time coming with everything that's going on in the world. I think it's been the best part of like 2 years since I've been able to put on one of these events, so it's really nice to be back. I managed to get some diesel, so I managed to get there and back, no problem whatsoever. And yeah, I've got some really good pickups. If the sound quality is not very good, it's absolutely pissing it down. But thankfully, I managed to miss all of that. But yeah, it sounds like it's absolutely pissing down out there. So thankfully, I didn't get wet. But I had a great time. Saw some great people, some great YouTubers, some great content creators, some great people that I've seen throughout the years that run stalls, and bumped into quite a few people that support the channel as well. So yeah, really had a great day. And let's crack on, shall we? Most of what I've got is games. I mean, you can take the retro out of the ghetto, but you can't take the ghetto out of the retro. I managed to get a lot of video games. I don't want to disclose too many of my tips to everybody, but yeah, it really is an untapped resource, these toy fairs, for video game hunters like myself, because it's a bit of they kind of take second fiddle, if you like. People aren't there for games, they're not rushing to find video games. They're kind of just shoved to one side, and a lot of them have just got a blanket price, because often what you'll find is the sellers aren't overly educated in individual prices of each game, which is fair enough. That's not their bread and butter. So you can find some bargains. And I was in there early. We paid the early bird entry fee. So me and my friend Big Steph, thanks for coming with me, Big Steph. Always a good day when I'm out with you. We managed to find some good games very early on. If you can hear Retro Ghetto Jr., he's probably enjoying some of the toys that I bought back for him. So yeah, at least he's excited and enjoying himself. Okay, so before we get washed away in what sounds like this biblical storm, I'm going to show you guys what I was able to pick up. Yeah, loads of games, some absolute bargains. So I'll do it in order that I found them. First couple, as soon as I walked in, there was a guy who was selling some GameCube games, so obviously like a moth to a flame. I was straight over there. And when it's first thing in the morning, you don't necessarily know if people are going to do your deals, because, you know, rightfully so, they might as well see if they can get full price. But this guy was happy to work with me. And the game that really caught my eye, that I'd never played, was Bomberman Generation on the GameCube. It's just something that, you know, I just never got around to playing at any point. He had £15 on it, which isn't a bad price. CX is selling it for 18, I believe. But then I also saw Legends of Wrestling, good old Hulk on the front, and I think I bundled them together, and I think he did me the pair for £15. Always worth bundling, guys. I did quite a few bundles today whilst I was out there hunting, but yeah, I was really happy to get both of these for 15 quid. My GameCube collection is not massive, so I do like to add quality titles to it as and when I find them for a good price. Next, I found what is arguably the bargain of the day, certainly when it comes to games at least. We'll get to my toys in a minute, but there was a guy who, you know, like most people there at a toy fair, was selling toys, and he had a box of video games, and I asked him how much his games were, and he kind of went, £4 each. So it's kind of like plucked a number out of the air. I could tell he wasn't really bothered. And when he said that, I thought it was a bit overpriced, because it was mostly sort of filler. There was a lot of, you know, games that you wouldn't pick up in a charity shop, you know, your FIFAs, old Call of Duties, that kind of stuff. And then one game caught my eye, and I thought, I don't even need to look that up. I know that's worth something. And I thought, was there anything else in there? And I thought, this one as well, so I could do like a little bundle deal. So I picked up MotorStorm Pacific Rift. And the MotorStorm series is really good. I really enjoyed playing it. I don't have this one. CX sells for £4. He wanted £4, so it's worth picking that one up. But the creme de la creme, and what I managed to bundle it with, was Spider-Man 3. This is like a £20 to £25 game these days. I actually recently found it on the Xbox 360 in a charity shop. I don't know if you can see that, 95 pence. So yeah, this is probably about 50 quid's worth of games in my hands here, if you were to buy them from somewhere like CEX. And I think, as I say, put these two together for £4, I think, £4 or £5, maybe £5, so £2.50 each. So I spent £3.50 on these two games, and yeah, that's how you got to do it, guys. But as I say, toy fairs, they do have these kind of, you know, bargains hidden around if you go hunting for them. It's not what people are there for, so yeah, don't all be rushing there though. And then again, I'm sure you would have seen this in the footage, but there was a chap that was a bit of a game seller, so you're not expecting things to be too cheap, because he had quite a lot of games on his table, so you expect the prices to be there or thereabouts. But I've been wanting to pick up Aladdin on the Mega Drive for some time. I've got it on the Super Nintendo. It's quite often debated that this one is the better version. So I want to play it for myself. I might play through them both back to back. They're both very short games, and then I can make my own decision on that. And then another game that I didn't own that he had there was California Games. Now, I was sort of talking to him about doing a deal on these when I saw what every game collector wants to see. And it was a big box, and it basically said £1 games.
Come on, ladies, £1.
Games.
So it's alright, I'll be having a look in here. Guys, was Mega Drive games in there. Like, when do you see £1 Mega Drive games? So I got loads. I picked up a load of games. Don't get me wrong, some of these are filler, but for £1, I'm gonna buy Mega Drive games all day long. NBA All-Star Challenge. And then there was also some PS1 in there as well. Disney's Dinosaur, had to pick that up for little Retro Ghetto Jr. He'll enjoy watching me play through that. Hydro Thunder, always good fun. Remember, these are all £1 each. This one, I'd never heard of this game before. Let me know in the comments if this is worth a playthrough. Kickboxing Knockout. It just looked interesting when I was looking at the graphics on the back. And as I say, £1. What are you going to do? And then some more Mega Drive games. Kawasaki Superbikes. Good old Pele. Mr. Impotence advert. I shouldn't do him like that. He's a legend. Hard Driving. A game that I owned on the Super Nintendo. Winter Olympics. I'm not sure I should be proud of owning that on both consoles, but yeah. And another basketball game, Arch Rivals. So yeah, nothing like, you know, amazing in terms of titles, but for £1 each, guys, it's probably worth it for the cases alone, right? A lot of them have got hang tabs on, so I'll beef up my Mega Drive collection anytime I see games for £1 each. I left a few behind. There was a few golf games and like a few that I actually draw the line out that I wouldn't want for free. But for the most part, yeah, I picked up everything that I thought looked interesting. And as I say, bundling it with these two that I was really after, I got the whole lot for 20 quid. I mean, you can't complain, can you, with that? Last game I picked up was Ridge Racer Type 4. Turns out I've already got it in the collection, but in my mind as I saw it, I wasn't sure if I had Ridge Racer Type 3 or Type 4. This game means a lot to me. If you've watched my life in gaming, you'll know why. And the guy let me have it for 2 quid, so I just couldn't leave it there. But yeah, I think I've now got 2 copies of this. But either way, Ridge Racer Type 4 for a couple of quid. It's a great game. If you haven't got it, get it. Right, so let's look at a couple of toys, shall we? I only picked up a couple of things. The first one is from Pulp Fiction. It's my favourite film of all time. And this is the Titans line. I never see these. I must have missed it when they were like out and being sold in like blind bags in Forbidden Planet and shops like that. But you can see on the back all the different characters. I've got loads of these stored away, ready for the Retro Ghetto 3.0. I've got most of them actually. But they made one that was big. For some reason, they made a 4.5 inch version of Butch. This was supposed to be £10. It's usually on eBay for like 15 or so. Of course, the window was loose. He said I could have it for 8. I'm unboxing it anyway, so I don't care. Let's do a live unboxing. Let's get the white gloves on. Comes with the katana as well, from the famous scene in the pawn shop. There he is. Butch Coolidge, complete with katana, all bloodied up. Even got the watch. Don't forget my daddy's watch. If you haven't seen the film, what are you doing with your life? Don't even be watching me. Turn this off now and go and watch it. But yeah, nice to add that one to the collection. Can't wait to get all my toys and figures out of storage. I really can't. I'm just at the moment, I keep buying stuff that's getting added to it. But one day soon, guys, they're coming out of storage. And then probably my favourite find of the day. I was really happy to have this. I spotted it initially. And then it kind of played on my mind like they do with these things, and I went back and it got £20 price tag on it, still on it. And I just like to get a deal when I go to these things. For me personally, if you want £20 for something, list it at 25 or 22. Just let the buyer feel like he's getting a deal, because I feel like I have to get money off on everything, and I know I'm not the only person that's like that. But this is a OG Mario Kart. I think we're looking at sort of a GameCube era, not Nintendo 64, because it's what, 2004, so yeah, probably GameCube era, I'd have thought. This is like a wired remote Mario. I love old Mario, like that derpy looking face. And a little bit of, the light's actually making it look worse than it is. There's a little bit of denting on the thing, but for something that's that old, it's in really good condition, to be honest. It's never been opened. Really nice guy, the guy that sold it to me. So if you're watching, appreciate it. He let me have it for £15. And as I was sort of negotiating and talking to the guy about it, there was one of those guys, you know the hoverers, right? You know when you get them at car boot sales and toy fairs and game fairs. There's someone, and you could tell they want what you've got in your hand, and he was just hovering like this. Pretending he's looking at stuff, but staring at what I had in my hand. So yeah, elbowed him in the face. Now, struck a deal. As soon as I struck a deal, he was off, bless him, his tail between his legs. So yeah, I was really happy to have this. I just think it's a really nice piece, really nice shelf piece, and for £15. He had a Yoshi as well, which had been opened. He wanted 15 quid for that. He said he'd do both for 30, but then I say he managed to give me this one for 15 anyway. And to be honest, I was happy to just get Mario, because I'm the sort of guy, if I end up with a Yoshi, I have to buy the full set. But Mario alone, I can live with just having him on the shelf as a nice display piece. So yeah, that's probably my favourite find of the day, certainly in terms of like toys anyway. So yeah, that's everything I picked up. I went there with like 2 aims, not to spend all my money and not to start any new toy lines. And I think for the most part, I was pretty successful. But it's just great to be back out hunting and buying again. I absolutely love toy fairs. I've said it before. As you can see from my room, video games are my thing. That's my first love. But I enjoy going to toy fairs more than video game fairs, because I know what I'm going to get at video game fairs. For the most part, I've seen all the games before. I know what they look like. Everyone knows the price and the value when you get there, and you know, often the prices are higher than eBay as well. And whilst it's a nice experience and you do find the odd thing that you might not have seen or might not expect to find, for the most part, I know what's going to be there. Whereas I'm no expert when it comes to toys by any means. I'm always learning about new lines and new toys that I didn't know existed. And you just never know what's going to be there. It could be the most random thing you've never seen in your life, could be at one of the stores. So it gives me more of that kind of element of surprise, I guess, as you're walking around. And also, everyone's not hunting for the same thing. Do you know what I mean? It's not like, oh, someone's got a really rare SNES game and everyone wants it, and it's going to be gone straight away if it's underpriced. You could probably turn up at a toy fair at midday and find everything you want, because it's such a niche thing as to what people want. I didn't find many Street Fighter figures, for example. I'm a Street Fighter guy. I could turn up at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and there could be some there, because they're just not overly sought after. So I like the element of toy fairs. I think they're a lot more relaxed than video game fairs from my experience, of everybody rushing in and trying to buy the rarer games straight away. So yeah, had a great time. Hope you guys enjoyed the footage that I managed to capture. And as always, thank you for watching. Everyone that came up to me and said they enjoyed the channel, thank you very much. All the sellers that have done me a deal, all the YouTubers that I spoke to, I listen, appreciate it. You all helped make it a great day. So take care, play your games, keep it retro. I'll see all of you next week.
Retro Ghetto.